All right, that auction ended. I came away with a couple toys here. The decision between the wife and I was, should we get a fence for the backyard, or should I get some toys for our subscribers? I decided to get toys. So the backhoe was kind of my main item that I was looking to acquire, and I ended up picking up this backhoe for $445. I thought that was insanely cheap, and I think after tax and auction fee, I think it was like 560 bucks, which is still ridiculously cheap. And then I was bidding on the stump grinder, and you know, I was hoping to get that for maybe 4, 5, maybe 600 bucks. That ended up going for $1,005, and so I ended up passing on that. Well, I wasn't really gonna push so hard for the trencher because I'd already gotten this backhoe. I've already got, you know, other tools that could make doing a trench and digging just fine. But I'm like, God, this trencher was just sitting there and it was just low bid. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna get in on the action. I got on the action. $395 I won this trencher. It's kind of like, I think this chain is worth $395, but after fees and stuff, I think it was like 450 bucks or 460 bucks. But yeah, smoking deal on the trencher. And to tell you the truth, they had like 8 to 10 dirt augers with 12-inch blades, the Wolverines. I wish I had more money because they went from $300 to $330. I think I paid like $550 or $6 for my auger. The other one that kind of bugged me as well, they had a bunch of pallet forks. So I did get an extra blank plate. I got that for $25. I think I just paid for one maybe 2 months ago. I think I paid $85 online. But anyway, then they had these pallet forks, and I had a set. Well, I could hardly get one bought back in the day. I paid $750 for my forks. On the auction, there was like 8 or 10 of them, much like the augers. They went basically from 200 to 220 bucks. I kind of wanted to throw up because I knew it was such a smoking deal, and that's not realistic, but it's like, God, I wanted to buy a bunch of them and get them out to you guys. I was like, shoot, even if I made like $100 for them or whatever, and you guys picked up shipping. So that's the kind of stuff I was thinking. It's like, maybe I should start buying a few more of these and just reselling them to get them out to you guys, because the price for these is, I don't know, this is just a great deal. But like I said, I missed out on the stump grinder. I was bidding in on some 4-in-1 buckets because they were running a little bit cheap, but honestly they end up going kind of that $400 and $600, which is still ridiculously cheap for the 4-in-1 buckets. Yeah, overall it was just a great auction, and I come away with, for sure, I wanted this backhoe thing. I think it's just versatile. It was just great, and icing to the cake is this trencher here, you know, and there you see it takes the 3-prong there. I've seen them run on the CRTs and other mini skids. I know it's going to run slow, but slow and steady, you know, low end torque. Let's say it's got that, which I'm sure it will. I think it will be just fine. And I don't know anything about trenchers, but you know, here's this thing kind of adjusts or whatever. And obviously I'll get all this stuff on display, but I was insanely pumped to get that scored. All right, so yeah, basically the brand that I got here is the GI or GIYI, and here's some specs on it. Max trenching dig depth 39 inches, which is more than capable of doing what a guy needs to do for trenching. Obviously it says max working pressure is 20, but obviously we know the flow rate on this is only going to be 15, at least on the CRT 23. So Like I said, I've seen them run before, not this brand, but other brands, and they do the job. They just go slow. And once again, I'm not really worried about how fast it goes. I'm more concerned, or I shouldn't say concerned, I'm more eager to see the low end torque, much like my auger. My auger's not super fast, but it's got low end torque, and that's what this thing needs to have. So I don't know, I'm pretty dang excited about this rig. I just don't know how you go wrong for the price I paid for it. It's just an auto buy. I mean, yeah, I'm just super pumped on that. And like I said, the backhoe here, see if I can get in the specs on this one here as well. I guess I didn't see what brand this one was. That's the whole thing, is sometimes you just, there it is. I'll pop up in the truck bed here. Sometimes you just don't know what you're getting, but like I said before, you know, that's why I like to go out and check out those auctions. And plus, I like to let you guys know as well what stuff is going for in my neighborhood. So here we go, get that cleaned off. Yeah, so we're sitting, oh yeah, so basically this reaches 5 feet. So that's gonna be plenty good for just about anything I do. You know, overall, what I like about that backhoe, it's not overly big, and pretty much, obviously, I can put different size of buckets on that. So if I was just doing like a simpler, smaller trench, I could get a narrower bucket for that. I don't know, I'm pretty pumped about that, especially in my area. I kind of do leach pits here and there, digging out stumps like we already know. I don't know, I think I've got some of the better attachments. And there was a couple other attachments that I almost forgot to mention. There was a concrete braking bar. That thing, I just saw a video here. That looks sweeter than heck. But you know, I can only justify having so many attachments because it's like I really just don't do a lot of concrete stuff. And then usually if I'm doing concrete, my concrete guy would just tear out my slabs or whatever. But I think that went for like $500. There was also a post pounder for a mini skid. The only downfall that I saw to that is because the fence that I was looking to put up here at my place, the fence posts were 7 feet tall. Well, basically in order for that post pounder to work, I'd have to put the mini skid with the post pounder in the back of the truck to make work. But anyway, that's kind of a wrap here. I'm super excited to get these at home and for the price that I paid, and on top of it, I'm insanely excited to get these tested out for you. But please let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Jbros out.